Seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton has started negotiations with Mercedes over a new contract. Stay tuned to find out the latest about Hamilton's contract extension. Furthermore, we will also examine prospective candidates who could potentially replace Hamilton at Mercedes when he eventually decides to retire from Formula One. Let's get started. It's been a year since Formula One fans were left holding their breath, uncertain if they would ever witness the speed and skill of Lewis Hamilton again. The seven-time world champion's agonizing defeat in the Abu Dhabi season finale left him reeling, and he went radio silent for months afterward. But as the weeks wore on, Mercedes and Hamilton began dropping tantalizing clues. First, there was the video of Hamilton and his trusted physio Angela Cullen on a morning run through the streets of London. Then came a cryptic tweet, a glimpse of Hamilton's new helmet. A week before the launch of their highly anticipated W13 car, Mercedes made a long-awaited announcement. The team referred to Lewis Hamilton as one of our 2022 drivers. It was official. The greatest driver of his generation was back for another season. But the 2022 season was far from the triumphant return that Hamilton may have envisioned. He and his new teammate George Russell spent most of the year battling to collect as many points as possible, with their car lagging behind in the race for first place. And yet, even in the face of disappointment, there is something undeniably different about Hamilton these days. The man who once claimed he wouldn't race beyond his 40th birthday suddenly seems to have a second wind. Perhaps it's the challenge of overcoming setbacks or the thrill of facing new opponents. Whatever the reason, there's no denying that Hamilton is as driven and competitive as ever. Hamilton's fans had eagerly awaited news of his contract extension, especially as his current deal expires at the end of this year. The good news is that both the driver and his team have expressed their intention to work out an extension. However, negotiations are yet to be concluded, which is surprising given how Toto Wolff, the team's principal, had suggested that the process would be straightforward. Despite experiencing his first winless campaign in F1 last season, Hamilton's love for the sport is stronger than ever, and he is fully committed to it. There may have been doubts a year ago about his passion for F1, but nowadays it's undoubtedly an emphatic yes. Hamilton is in the twilight of his career, but he looks primed and ready to go for a while yet. So fans can rest assured that negotiations for his contract extension are likely progressing well, and the racing legend will continue to grace the F1 grid for some time to come. Hamilton said at the launch of Mercedes' 2023 car that he expected to sign a new contract that would see his time at the team extend beyond the end of his current deal this season. The 38-year-old said, "I am planning to stay a little bit longer." He added that his decision to stay would not depend on whether the new Mercedes car returned the team to title contention after a disappointing 2022, in which he failed to win a race during a season for the first time in his career. Hamilton said, "I don't feel like I need the team to prove anything to me. We have proved time and time again over the years that we have strength in depth. You don't lose that ability. We are continuing to try and improve our processes. There is the best harmony in the team I have seen these years. We have a really fresh group of engineers in the team. It is an exciting time and I don't plan on being anywhere else." Wolff said talks over a new deal were in their initial phases, adding that the fact Hamilton would likely be 40 years old during the course of any deal he signed was not relevant. Wolff said his age 38 plays no role in the next contract. "If you look at how well top athletes have pushed the boundaries, I'm thinking about NFL star Tom Brady, still throwing the ball at age 44, 45, the age plays no role. In terms of the contractual situation, we have always found good solutions, and for the other side, Mercedes are the place he wants to be. These things have never been contentious. Nothing is dragging on. The alignment is there. This will be a journey that will continue." Although Lewis Hamilton may extend his F1 career with Mercedes, it is inevitable that the team will need to plan for a future without him. Therefore, the question arises, who will be the ideal driver to replace him? Let's take a look at potential drivers that can replace Hamilton. But before that, if you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks. When considering a replacement for Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, Lando Norris stands out as the perfect candidate. The young British driver has shown incredible talent and potential throughout his 4-year career in F1, culminating in a remarkable 7th place finish in the 2022 World Championship. With each passing season, his stock continues to soar, making him one of the most coveted drivers on the grid. Recognizing his immense value, McLaren moved quickly to secure Norris on a long-term contract that runs until 2025, warding off interest from other top teams like Red Bull. While Norris is committed to McLaren's project of returning to the front of the grid, setbacks in 2022 and the loss of influential team principal Andreas Seidel could cause frustration and disillusionment. If McLaren fails to make significant progress in the upcoming season, Norris may begin to look elsewhere. This is where Mercedes could come into play, especially considering the recent developments at McLaren. With his impressive skill set and undeniable potential, Norris would be a valuable asset for any team, and Mercedes may just be the ideal landing spot for the young driver. A lineup consisting of George Russell and Norris, two of the most exciting young drivers on the grid, would make Mercedes the envy of the pit lane and give them a potentially championship-winning pairing for the next decade. At this moment in time, Norris is the candidate who sticks out above the rest. Mercedes should move heaven and earth to make it happen. If Ferrari continues to flounder in their quest to win a first world title in 15 years, Charles Leclerc might be tempted to look at options elsewhere to achieve his ambition of becoming an F1 world champion. Leclerc, along the likes of Verstappen, Russell and Norris, is seen as one of the most promising young talents in F1. He showcased his abilities by claiming more poles than any other driver in 2022 and briefly challenged for the championship before Ferrari's season went up in smoke. Leclerc's contract with Ferrari runs until the end of 2024, but if the Scuderia cannot provide him with the machinery to challenge for the title, he may look elsewhere to achieve his goal. Ferrari's decision to replace Mattia Binotto with Frederic Vasseur, a man with a strong relationship with Leclerc, may be viewed as an attempt to keep him happy, but it remains to be seen if it will be enough. One thing is for sure, if Leclerc does become available, Mercedes will be one of the teams at the front of the queue to secure his signature. The prospect of Leclerc driving for the Silver Arrows is an exciting one for F1 fans and could shake up the grid in a major way. Since he was just 16 years old, Max Verstappen has been on the radar of every team in the F1 paddock, including Mercedes. However, it was Red Bull who took the gamble on the young Dutchman, giving him a Toro Rosso race seat in his first full year of car racing. It proved to be a wise decision, as Verstappen has since become a two-time world champion, cementing his status as one of the best drivers of his generation. Mercedes may have regretted not signing Verstappen when they had the chance in 2014, but his current employer Red Bull have made sure he won't be going anywhere anytime soon, offering him a reported £200 million over 5 years until 2028. It's hard to imagine Verstappen leaving Red Bull, especially after a dominant 2021 season, where he won 15 of 22 races on his way to the championship. However, if Mercedes truly believe he is the missing piece to their puzzle, they may still make an audacious move for the Dutchman once Hamilton retires. Should the earlier mentioned options prove out of reach, a far more attainable alternative could come in the shape of Esteban Ocon. Ocon was, after all, a Mercedes junior and spent the 2019 season as the team's reserve driver before rescinding his official ties when he joined Renault, now Alpine, at the start of 2020. The 26-year-old Frenchman's career has been guided by Wolff, who regards Ocon incredibly highly. Despite becoming a fully fledged Alpine driver, connections to Mercedes remain. In June 2021, Ocon signed a bumper 3-year contract to keep him at Alpine until at least the end of 2024. But the lure of driving for Mercedes would mean prizing him away from the French manufacturer shouldn't be too tricky for the Silver Arrows. Ocon has done an impressive, underrated job at the improving Alpine and more than held his own against Fernando Alonso during their 2 seasons together as teammates. He was also a Grand Prix winner, having brilliantly resisted immense pressure from 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel for a shock maiden victory at the 2021 Hungarian Grand Prix. He may not be a headline-grabbing replacement for Hamilton, but Ocon would be a fast and extremely consistent candidate to partner alongside Russell. Who do you think will replace Hamilton in Mercedes? Let us know in the comments section below. That will be all for today's video. Thanks for staying tuned. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you can always get to watch more amazing videos like this. See you in the next video.